how it all fits together. I often wonder, quite frequently actually, think to myself, how does it all fit together? How does one thing that I do lead to another thing, lead to another thing, lead to another thing? A simple example might be I meet somebody, and just how I say hello changes how they respond to me. And how they respond to me changes how I respond to them. And it just creates an entirely different picture. If I would then show up very similar, except just a little bit different, now all of a sudden I get a different outcome, which creates a different outcome, and so on and so forth. So how does it all fit together? What single action, or how when I take a single action, does it fit with the conclusion that I get? So another simple example, which happened in the last day or two, yesterday I decided late in the evening that I would ask a question on Facebook. What's your favorite expression? I put it there, didn't have an opportunity all day to look at it, didn't really think about it again in fact, and had forgotten that that was the question I had posed yesterday. Went off and met with many clients today, well 4, which is many in the course of one day. Had some great conversations and helped some people move forward together, which was really cool. And in one of the conversations, we got talking about her favorite expression, or some of her favorite expressions. It started with one though, nothing for nothing. Her mother would often say to her, you get nothing for nothing. If it is nothing, it probably is nothing. So if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is, was my rendition of that particular phrase. And then I left and I didn't think too much more of it. And then she sent me another message and said that another one of her mom's favorite sayings, and just started sharing some of those expressions that were things that her mom said that mean a lot to her to this day. And her mom's not with her any longer, so I think it's even more meaningful, a lot of those things that she heard as a kid. Still hadn't really remembered, or I hadn't actually remembered at all, the question I posed yesterday. So just a few minutes ago, as I was thinking about what will I share about on Facebook Live today, what will I share about in my social media post on Yetta Raw REAL, and I thought, well, how does everything fit together? Wouldn't leave me, was not going anywhere, and yet I didn't know how to pull it all together. I was confused or maybe distracted by all the things that could pull together. Anniversaries and masterminds that are coming up on Wednesday, anniversary on Monday, just different experiences that I'm having. And I thought, how do they all fit together? The present that Ken bought me today that's sitting on the counter for me to take a look at, I think, tomorrow. The dress that he bought last week in the store, and they left the tag on it, or not the tag, that metal thing. And they checked his bag when it beeped, but they said there was nothing wrong, so he came home with it, so he had to go back to the mall. Well, how did that fit together with the gift that he bought today? Well, if he hadn't been in the mall, he wouldn't have bought it. So all those things were whirling in my head. Then I thought, well, I got a little distracted in the middle of that conversation, and I went on Facebook, and there I found the question, what are some of your favorite expressions? And I thought, isn't that interesting that today ended up becoming all about that, or a fair bit of that, without me initiating it. So it all fits together. I still don't have the answer to it, and yet I'm fascinated by how these things intermingle. So in your life, what are you fascinated about, the way they intermingle or the way they fit together? It all fits together the way it's supposed to be. One of the expressions that somebody said was, yes, dear. And I know that was one of my husband's favorite expressions. He would often look at me and say, yes, my dear. Not really meaning it. Well, he says he means it, but I'm not sure. Now with our anniversary here, I'm thinking that's a great quote for me to give back to him in an earnest sort of way. So think about your favorite expressions. Think about how they all fit together with the way you live life. Maybe you want to join us at the Mastermind next Wednesday, which is about all fitting together, really, because people share their best perspective, and then how does that live out in your life? How does it all fit together? So ponder for the weekend, comment, and let's engage around how it all fits together.